Hey everyone, it's Pat from Pat Music and we're back with another video. We're checking out 10 riffs that you can play with one finger. Great for if you're just getting started. Now some of these are trickier riffs, so I'll show you the one finger method, the two and the three finger method all in one video. These are all songs that came from your suggestions, so if there's something else you want to learn, leave a comment below, but otherwise, let's get started. The final thing I will say is in the description of this video there's the Modern Musician playlist, and it's a great playlist if you're just starting out. It'll show you everything from buying your first guitar to playing your first riffs and even writing your own songs. So definitely check out that, but otherwise, let's get started. Alright, next one is Rocket Queen by Guns N' Roses. Thank you very much for the suggestion. So you're going to want the bridge pickup, bit of distortion going on. But this riff is definitely able to be played by one finger, so great suggestion. So, you want to dive right on in, and first you want to learn, there's basically two parts to the riff, and then a tail end. So two parts and a tail end. So think of it, it's just three different things you have to learn. The first part is there's a little bit of palm muting, so you're resting the meaty part of your hand on the strings to get this sound. If I wasn't resting, just practice that. Once you've got that, I'll tell you when you need to mute. So, you want to play the open E string, then with your first finger, the second fret. Then, hammer on. So what that means is you play the open fifth string, and you only pick once. You pick the open string, and then your first finger hammers on that first fret on the fifth string. So I'm only picking once. So here's what we've got. That's really a third of the riff, so well done. Once you've got that part, here's the second part. You play an extra open sixth string, then you start the riff again. But this time, you do another hammer-on. So here's the first part that we learned. Second part, add an extra open sixth string. And an extra hammer-on. Put those two parts together. Just get used to playing those two parts, but you're 2/3 of the way there, so well done. Now the only thing I would suggest is during the second part of that riff, try and do some muting instead of the open strings ringing out. It just sounds a little bit more like the recording. Now the last part is played like this. So you play those sort of two riffs, you play them 3 times. So exactly what you've done, do that 3 times. So here would be once. So do that 3 times. Then on the 4th time, it's sort of a tail end. You play the open sixth string, second fret, just like you did before. Hammer on. Then you play the 5th string open, second fret, 6th string. And that's the ending. Now, it may take a little while to play it up to speed. But just practice that riff and you'll definitely get there. If you want to make it a little bit harder for yourself, every second fret that you play, use your second finger, and every first finger that you play, use your first finger. And then you won't be flying around so much. But well done, great suggestion, and well done for playing it. As you can see, I was playing it with my first finger and my pinky, but you can definitely play it with one finger. So you want to come right in here on the first string, so the thinnest string, all the way up to the 10th fret. You want to play that. Then you're going to go back to the 7th fret on the same string. And you repeat that. Just on the same string. Just focus on that before you move up to the next string. Now on the next string, you jump up again, 10th fret, then 8th fret, same string, then 7th fret, same string. So what we've got so far, almost there. Jump up a string, so 7th fret on the 3rd string, then you jump down and play the 7th fret on the 2nd string, 9th fret on the 3rd string. That's half of the riff, so I'll play it nice and slowly. That's the first half. The second half is slightly different, but you've pretty much learned the entire thing, so well done. What I would suggest though, before moving forward, is try and play it with one finger, but then try and use all of your fingers. So every time you see a 10th fret, use your pinky. Every time you see a 7th fret, use your first finger. Every time you see an 8th fret, use your second finger. And every time you see a 9th, use your 3rd finger. So then you're not sliding all over the place, you just stay in one position for the whole thing. So let's play the second part, but using all of our fingers. So you play the 10th fret on the first string, and then the 7th fret, and you do that again, 10th and then 7th. Jump up a string and play the 10th, 8th, 7th quite quickly. Then next, you jump up a string with your first finger, you play the 7th fret, back down to play the 7th fret, just like before. Then up again, you play the 7th fret and then the 9th fret on the 3rd string. So here it is. That's it, well done. Thanks for the suggestion. Thank you for the next suggestion. I hadn't actually heard this song before, so by Candlebox we've got Far Behind. I'm going to show you that main sort of riff that comes through the intro and throughout the song. So I'll show you how to play it with one finger, but definitely for the chords later on. Easier with two fingers, but I'll show you both methods. So play the open G string or the open 3rd string. Then your first finger comes all the way up on the 10th fret. Then you play the open 3rd string again. This time you play the 10th fret, but you immediately slide to the 12th. So what that sounds like. And then you play the open 3rd string and then the 10th fret on the 2nd string again. So I'll play it nice and slowly. Just work on that and try and build up that speed. Once you can do that, the next part is a little bit harder. You play the open 6th string, so big sort of move up there. Play the open 6th string. You play the 12th fret on the 2nd string 3 times. Then you play the 10th fret on the 2nd string 3 times. Now how I would suggest you play that part is actually with 2 fingers. So you play both, once you play the open 6th string I should say, you play both the 12th fret on the 2nd and the 3rd string, you hold them down with 1 finger and you play them 3 times. Try and get that. Then next you put your first finger on the 10th fret of the 2nd string and your second finger on the 11th fret of the 3rd string to get that chord. And next you put your first finger on the 10th fret of the 2nd string and your second finger on the 11th fret of the 3rd string and you play that 3 times, that chord. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you want me to show you the rest of the riff, please leave a comment below, but it's definitely harder than this one finger riff series, but that's the majority of the riff anyway. And that's it. Thank you for the suggestion. Alright, brilliant suggestion. Thank you so much. Foo Fighters, Walk. I'm going to show you the main riff that sort of starts the song. And this riff sort of changes 4 times, and it's great for practicing your chords, but of course I'll show you the one finger method first. Diving right on in, okay? So you want to have a nice clean sound, maybe with a little bit of reverb and delay. Now, the one finger method is a little bit tricky, but I'm going to show you the main sort of riff. So that's this. Now with one finger, you want to come up here with your first finger on the 9th fret of the 3rd string. Then you want to jump down to the 10th fret, string below. Then back up to the 9th. So you've got that. Then you jump all the way down to the 7th fret on the 1st string. So what we've got so far. Back up to the 10th, 2nd string. Back up to the 9th. Back down to the 10th. So what we've got. So it only uses those same frets. It doesn't sort of move around too much. And the reason why is because the guitarist is just playing a chord shape. So notice how my fingers are not actually moving. So what I would suggest you do, start off with one finger, then next try and use 2 fingers. So every 9th fret use your first finger, every 10th fret use your 2nd finger. Okay, now once you've got that, try and do the next part, which is just a slight change, and this is where the other chords get involved, and this is throughout the song. So if you just want to learn the intro riff, you've done it. But let's step it up a notch, and I'll show you the next part. So if you were playing it, but it's much easier as chords. So if you're playing it as a chord, you would play like this. Your first finger is on the 7th fret of the 1st string, your pinky is on the 10th fret of the 2nd string, and your 3rd finger is on the 9th fret. You don't even have to move. Next, you do the same picking pattern. You just move your pinky from the 10th to the 9th fret. But the last note is back on the 10th. For the next one, you want to change shape a little bit, and you're going to bar that first finger so it's holding down all of the 7th frets on those 3 strings, and you only put your pinky on the 10th fret of the B string. And the last chord shape is you want your 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the 3rd string, your pinky underneath that on the 10th fret of the 2nd string, and your first finger on the 7th fret of the 1st string. And that's the whole thing, and it's so much fun to play. So, starting off, first chord. Move the pinky, 2nd chord. Move it back. Then, bar chord shape for the next one. Stretch. Well done, and that's the main riff. I know it's a little bit tricky, but it's great for practicing those unusual stretches that you wouldn't normally play, and what that does is strengthen all your fingers. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay, thank you for the next suggestion, Dying in a Hot Tub. Hadn't heard this song before, but heaps of fun to play. Now, as you can see, I was playing some tricky bar chords. I'm going to show you a 1-finger method, a 2-finger method, and then the full-on bar chord method. So, it's a 4-chord song, really. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at D flat major, F major, G flat major, and G flat minor. Now, if all of that just went over your head, it doesn't matter because I'm going to show you how to play it anyway. So come on here, let's do the one finger method. You want a first finger, 5th string, and 4th fret. Jump up a string and go to the 1st fret. Move up a fret, and then stay where you are and hit it again. Let's do that again. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. If you want to add a bit of rhythm, so I'm just playing each note 8 times. Now, if that's starting to sound a little bit boring, but once you can do that, turn it into power chords. All that I'm doing is using my 3rd finger on the string below and a fret across. So if my first finger's on the 4th fret, a string below and a fret across is going to mean the 6th fret on the 4th string. Add a bit of rhythm, so play it 8 times. Once you can do that, take the next level and then play these full bar chords. So there's D flat major, those are the fingers I would use. You'd use your first finger to bar all those strings, then use your 2nd, 3rd and pinky. Then here's F major, and there's the fingers I would use. Then you would use G flat major, and then just take your 2nd finger off for G flat minor. But that's it. Good luck and thank you for the suggestion. Alright, next we're checking out Al Green's Love and Happiness. Now there's a lot going on in this song. There's a lot of sort of organ sort of playing going on. The main sort of chords, if you're just learning out this song, you could just use one finger, hold down strings 1, 2, 3 on the 4th fret. You could really just sort of bounce around that. Or just even simpler. Now, once you can do that, use your first finger to jump up to the 6th fret on the 4th string, and then just come back down to that chord. That sort of rhythm. Now, anything else you would do is I would add in a hammer-on from the 4th fret to the 6th fret. Now it couldn't just be a slide, so we're talking on the 4th fret, 3rd string. Slide up from the 4th fret to the 6th string. And just put them all together. Now, if that's a little bit too tricky, there's also a really cool sort of trumpet line. So I'll show you how to play that. So to come in with your first finger on the 8th fret of the 3rd string, and you'll play 8, same string, 6th, then 8, then jump down and play the 7th fret. Then you play the same string, 8th fret, 3rd string, 6th fret, 4th fret. Back up to the 6th, back up to the 8th. So we've got so far. And how you sort of finish that, and that's half of the riff, so let's play that again. Then the next part of the riff is you play the 8th, the 6th and the 8th again, just like you did before, down to the 7th. Then you play the 8th, 6th and 4th on the 3rd string. 6th and 4 again, same string. Jump up a string and play the 6, 4, 6. And I would suggest every sort of 6th fret, use your 1st finger. Every 8th fret, use your 3rd finger. And the 7th fret, you can use your 2nd finger. The whole riff. And that's it. Thank you very much for the suggestion. Brilliant song. Thank you for the suggestion. War Pigs by Black Sabbath. So diving right on in, there's quite sort of a long and atmospheric intro. And some of the chords that you'll be hearing are open 6th string and your 1st finger on the 11th fret. And then you move it up to the 12th fret. And all the way up to the 14th fret. Then a big power chord on the 10th fret of the E string. But the main sort of riff I'm going to teach you is so great if you're just starting out, because it's just 2 chords. So you would have your 1st finger on the 10th fret of the 6th string, and you play that, and then you quickly play the 12th fret, same string. And that's throughout sort of the first verse and intro. Now if you want to make it a bit chunkier, a bit heavier, then turn it into a power chord. So you want your 1st finger on the 10th fret, your 3rd finger on the 12th fret below. Have that same shape, move it up 2 frets. So your 1st finger's on the 12th fret and your 3rd finger's on the 14th. Now how I would play it is a down strum and then an up strum. Because it allows for you the quickest sort of snappy sort of picking, because it's quite quick. But if you're just doing 2 down strums, that's fine too. But that's the riff. Now it's so quick and easy for me to teach you this, but what I would suggest you do is think of this as a bit of an ear training exercise. Go back and sort of try those sort of slides in the intro and see if you can find more chords that are used. And then of course, play the riff. That's it. Thanks for the suggestion. Next one, great choice, Misfits, Dig Up Our Bones. Diving right on in, bridge pickup, lots of distortion. Only based around a few chords. I'm going to show you the chords, then I'm going to show you that little riff. But definitely a 2-finger song, but I'll show you how you can play it with 1 finger. So the first sort of chord, you want to come up here on the 6th fret of the 6th string. Next chord is all the way back on the 2nd fret. Then 4th fret, then back up to the 6th. Start again. Once you can do that, then I would try and turn it into a power chord, like this. So with your 1st finger and your 3rd finger to get both those frets. Now you're up to the hardest part now. It's a little bit tricky. Pretend like you just play the chords. Then you do a pull off 3 times. So what that means is you can have your 1st finger anchored on the 4th fret of the 6th string. It's just going to stay there. It's not moving. You have your 3rd finger already down on the same string on the 6th fret. Now you pick once and then you pull off so that the string vibration goes back to your 1st finger. It sounds like this. You do that 3 times. Just like that. Put it together. Once you can do that, try and sort of chug away or add some more rhythms to the chord, maybe between 4 to 6 times, or you can strum down and up like this, just as you're like strumming an acoustic. Now there's a lot of different sort of rhythms going on there, but really the most important thing is you hear the chord first, then you're resting your palm down and muting it. So much to learn from that one riff. Thank you for the suggestion. Good luck. All right, checking out the next song. Thank you very much for the suggestion. Changing styles into something a little bit more country. Morgan Wallen, Whiskey Fingers. Very funny video clip and fun song to play. So, it all sort of based around 4 chords. You've got F sharp major, C sharp major, D sharp minor, B major. Now don't worry. It would be no good for this video if I'm just teaching those versions, right? So I'm going to show you 1-finger method, 2-finger method, and the full bar chord version. So just come back to this video once you can do either method and progress your way through at your own pace. So first thing, first finger, 2nd fret, 6th string. That's your F sharp. Drop down a string and go to the 4th fret. That's your C sharp. Same string, move up 2 frets, D sharp. Then back to the 2nd fret, same string. So just try that. 2, 3, 4th fret. Up to the 6th fret. Back to the 2nd fret. Done. Now, once you can do that, add a little bit of rhythm. Once you can do that, turn it into power chords. So you have a space, a fret between, and a string between your 1st finger and your 3rd finger. Once you can do that, add a little bit of rhythm, maybe like 8 strums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just like that. Then you're up to the full bar chord version. So play through the song with 1 finger and then 2 fingers, and then come back and check out this bar chord version. So F sharp major, you want to use your 1st finger to bar all the strings, and you're going to use your fingers like this. C sharp major looks like this. Move it up 2 frets for D sharp minor, and then B major down like that. And then again, just start strumming once you can play the chords. That's it. Great suggestion. Alright, thank you for the suggestion. Alkaline Trio and Radio. Final riff of the video. So diving right on in, there's a lot of open D strings, and it's in groups of 2. So just get used to playing that. And your 1st finger is going to be jumping around a little bit on the 3rd string. So play the open D string twice. Then the 11th fret, then do that again. Then play the open string twice and play the 9th fret on the 3rd string. Then play the, again, open twice and then the 7th fret. Play the open twice again, but play the 9th fret and slide up to the 11th. That's half of the riff, so let's check out what we learned so far. Nice and slowly. Put it all together. Next, it's a little bit trickier with 1 finger, but I'll show you a 1 finger then a 2-finger method. You're going to play the 9th fret. Now the 9th fret is now, you play it twice instead of the open. So play the 9th fret twice, jump down, play the 11th, do that again. Then 9th fret and then open. Then 7th fret, 9th fret, do that again. Then 7th fret and then open A string. And And that's the whole thing. Here's the whole thing, here's the first part. What I would suggest you do is use 2 fingers for the second part. So use your first finger holding down the 9th and your 3rd finger for the melody. That's it. Thank you so much for the suggestion. And that's it. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If there's another song that you want to learn, simply leave a comment below. Or if you're having trouble and you need some more help, send me a message on one of my social networks. But otherwise, I'll see you again for another video. Thanks for tuning in.